Right, 4 October 2025, and I'm very excited to be giving you the morning update on this Saturday. And this is just for the trending news that we have in Zimbabwe and in Africa. So I'm going to be very quick. Let's look at what is going to be happening today, which is the inauguration of the Malawian President, Peter Mutharika. So that inauguration is going to take place today, and that means Mnangagwa is leaving Zimbabwe and is going to be leaving the office of president in the hands of Chiwenga. So it's going to be very interesting to watch what is going to happen this morning, because Chiwenga and Mnangagwa have not been in one place since the Politburo meeting, in which Chiwenga asked Mnangagwa to arrest Tagurei, Wicknell, Tungwarara, and Delish and Scott. So that meeting was the last time that Chiwenga and Mnangagwa were in one place. So what this means is today we're going to see whether Chiwenga is going to accompany Mnangagwa to the airport, and if Mnangagwa is going to leave the acting presidency in the hands of Chiwenga. If Chiwenga is left as the acting president today, what is he going to do? Is he going to do anything crazy, like making a decree to get those guys arrested? Because all the time people have been saying Chiwenga was acting and he has never done anything about all the things that he says he wants to change. So today we're going to see those interesting visuals. Let's see what happens when Mnangagwa leaves. As soon as he leaves, I'll give you guys the pictures of what would have happened. It is going to be very interesting. The first time that we're going to see, it's going to be extremely interesting to see how these two men are interacting as Mnangagwa leaves. Also, we've seen statements made about the army. So let's see whether they appear or not. But it will be very interesting to see what happens regarding Chiwenga and Mnangagwa. Right, I think we've covered that. Let us quickly go through the newspapers. And we're going to start with birthdays. So today is a very interesting day. Most kids from Masvingo are born in September, and if not very close. So Linda Masarira has a birthday. She celebrated a birthday. This week, other prominent people that celebrated their birthday include Senator Pugeni and also MP Dubeko. I think those were the people that celebrated their birthdays this week. And then regarding the stories that we've been following, Robert Mugabe Jr. has been granted bail. So he's been granted bail of $300. He's going to be back in court on the 22nd of October. So that is in approximately 3 weeks' time. We'll be back in court. You can see that Robert Mugabe Jr., when he's in jail, he's got a bodyguard. So look at the guy at the back there. He is not a prisoner. So the guy is wearing a shirt which looks like a prisoner shirt, but it's not a prisoner shirt. According to other people that I've been talking to, this is his bodyguard when he's in jail. So that is crazy. That when you go to jail, you've got a bodyguard. So check it out. The way he's dressed, he is definitely not a prisoner, or he is some sort of bodyguard that is protecting Robert Mugabe Jr. inside of jail. Mnangagwa loves this boy. If you guys didn't know, Mnangagwa loves Robert Mugabe Jr. He is like his son. If you go to Gambakwe, you will see the picture of Robert Jr. with Mnangagwa that we've put there when he visited his office. You can see that these two like each other. So go and check it out. He is in jail. He's disappointing Mnangagwa because of his druggy ways. but they actually do like him, Robert Mugabe Jr. So that is why he was granted bail. He was supposed to be in a lot of trouble for this, but he's not in trouble. He's out. And don't do it. If you are caught with the drugs in Zimbabwe, you'll be in a lot of trouble. You won't be let out like Robert Mugabe Jr. Then let's look at other stories, starting with our region. And there's a very interesting new development in Botswana. So I've posted this on Gambakwe. You'll see that Botswana has introduced a new citizenship by investment. So you can become a citizenship of Botswana if you invest 75,000 to $90,000. So you can become a citizen of Botswana. And this is very interesting. So let me show you what happens here. So this is a new initiative by President Dumaboko, and they are intending to raise funds for housing, tourism, mining, and other services. The Botswana passport is currently ranked the 4th strongest passport in Africa, and it allows you access to all SADC countries, and you can also enter Commonwealth countries. So if you become a citizen by investment in Botswana, you will then have the access to UK. And Botswana has got one of the most democratic reputations in the whole world. So Botswana has had smooth transitions of power. So it is one of those countries that are respected for being democratic, the least corrupt country in Africa. So Botswana is amazing. If you've got $75,000, which is approximately 1.2 million to 1.3 million rands, you can get that passport of Botswana. I'm going to ask President Maboko to give me the passport of Botswana just for fun. I hope he does give me. But because I'm a presidential candidate, I don't think they'll give me. They'll say, go to your country, Zimbabwe. Right, and then we've got other stories here. Sad story, 3 missing children found dead in Zimbabwe in a car. And the thing is, many people think that these kids did not jump into that car, into the boot. So what people need to do right now is every single broken down car, they must take it and throw it away and put it in a dump or some sort of place away from children. This is the second time this month, this past 2 to 3 months, where children have died in broken down old cars. So I'm sure the city of Harare must be ordered, like they've ordered, yesterday they've ordered them to clean up. Basera has written a letter, you can go to Gambakwe and see it. They've ordered to clean up of Harare. So I believe that they must also order that all broken down cars must be removed from Harare homes. So there are those cars that are dumped, that are broken down, they must be removed. They are causing so much pain and grief to parents. Then we've got, obviously, other stories, graduation at NAST. Very nice to see Chief Mchane talking. And Sekuru Wangu Moyana, he is a pastor. You can see him here with the Wutawashe. So my Sekuru is the one with the checked shirt over there. He is a pastor, so he's been meeting with Apostle Wutawashe over the Benny show. And I'm not lying, he's my real Sekuru. So let's see what happens with the Benny performance in Zimbabwe. And then looking at Zambia, Zambia is going through a lot regarding constitutional amendment, bill number 7, and other amendments. So President Hakainde Hichilema has set up a 25-member team to investigate all proposed constitutional amendments. So that is going to be very interesting in Zambia. And then the presidential election preparations are heating up in Zambia. A number of people have declared their interests. So yesterday it was Sangwa, He has issued a full statement in the newspaper. He's a constitutional lawyer, and he has presented himself as a candidate. So I'm going to publish that for you later on this morning. That is very interesting to see people saying they want to be president of Zambia. They're going to lose very badly to President Hakainde Hichilema, a very popular man. And then there is rumors that businessman James Ndambo is also planning to challenge President Hakainde Hichilema in the UPND for the presidency. So those are the things that are going on in Zambia regarding the presidential election, and the temperature very high, getting hotter and hotter in Zambia. Then I think we've covered that. Let us go to the Herald newspaper very quickly. So I'm going to share with you the Herald newspaper. Then we're out because we come so many times during the day. There's no need for me to go longer and longer. So let's go and look at the Herald newspaper. It is published this morning. And one of the lead stories in the Herald newspaper is a Zimbabwean who has been honored overseas. So I want you guys to see this news item here. So let's go to page 2. Zimbabwean scientist and scholar. So I want to share the picture so that you can see him. This is courtesy of Oppo. Oppo's page. You can go over there and see the detail. So Zimbabwean scholar and researcher Professor Gift Mhlana has won the 2025 World Academy of Sciences TWAS award for his work on porous materials for catalysts at the recently concluded conference in Brazil. So you can go and check out the details in the newspaper, in the Herald newspaper. It is very interesting to see our Zimbabwean guys doing well with these materials. There are many people inventing products in Zimbabwe. And then ZANU-PF People's Conference has gathered pace. Opam Chunguri speaking about it here. This was at the Polytechnic grounds. So this is the very space where ZANU-PF is going to be holding their annual National People's Conference. And then regarding Sanyatwe, Sanyatwe is very interesting because his wife is campaigning very much for him. She is called Chido Sanyatwe. Greeting to you all. Another weekend is here. As you unwind and recharge, don't forget to drink responsibly and prioritize the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you. Take care of your loved ones and have a great time. That is Chido Sanyatwe. She is very interesting, and you can see that eventually, as the presidential election gets closer, we are going to have two very strong people in ZANU. That is Sanyatwe and Chiwenga. They're going to eventually emerge. And then on the other side, you're going to have Tagure. So that's 3 race horse, according to what I can see in ZANU-PF. And then obviously, let's see at the other campaign, Yana Chiwenga. So if you go to Facebook, you'll see that Mini has posted. So let's see what she is saying about Chiwenga today. So it's going to be very interesting because after next week, we'll have clarity on what happens with the presidential campaigns. People are going to start campaigning. You need to start 3 years before if you're a new candidate. Otherwise, you'll lose. So whoever is going to be ZANU-PF candidate is to be decided next week on the 13th to the 17th, because campaigning to be a candidate takes time. It's not immediate. People need to get used to you, and you need to be able to communicate your manifesto, because this election is going to be totally different from the past elections. You'll be going up against Gambakwe. It's not easy. So I wonder what he's saying to him. So that is what she's posted here, Mini. And I think they've had a lot of time to campaign. The campaign Chiwenga have had a lot of time. But let's see what happens between Sanyatwe and Tagure. Who's going to do better between those two against Chiwenga in ZANU-PF? Then I think that is covered. As I said, I'm not going to stay for long here. Let's see, the Saturday Star or the Chronicle is posted. So Chronicle is the Malawi newspaper. Normally it carries stories from the southern regions. of Zimbabwe. So let's see what they have today. Right, Zimbabwe Chronicle. What is the Chronicle of Zimbabwe? Yes, in the Chronicle of Zimbabwe, we've got very interesting graduation pictures at NUST. I spent 4 years at NUST. That was my university before there was a campus. So the youngsters who went to NUST don't know that there was no campus. We were the second or third group at NUST, and there was no campus when we went there. So we had to go on funny buildings where we were studying at Lobengula Street and other places and other colleges. All right, so look at this. This is Mnangagwa with a young man called Wilbert Kurewa Kwesu. He was the best graduating male student. And then there is Busi Samoyo and James Ross Goddard over here. They were being awarded doctorates. Doctorate ya Gambakwe iri kuya rini NUST. When is Gambakwe's doctorate? And then some of the NUST graduates over here doing very well. NUST is doing very, very well. Probably one of the best universities in the country. And then what else do we have? Babongile shot debut with one shot. They are continuing with Babongile. Okay, I think you can read some of the stories in here that are trending. And then let's see if there's anything else that I want to cover. So we've said this is Harare. So the government of Zimbabwe has appealed to Harare City Council to clean up because the environment is looking very dirty. So a letter has been written. You can go and see the letter on Gambakwe to the mayor of Harare to say they must clean up the city because it's looking very dirty, and probably the government will end up having to take over the cleaning because the situation in Harare is so bad. When I go to Harare, it's very bad to walk on the street. It's like you're back in some backward country, and Harare is supposed to look beautiful. If you go into First Street, the paving has lifted and you cannot walk. If you walk around, they are trying to sweep, but sweeping is not enough. They have to do more. They have to sort out the greens. People have been complaining about the Harare gardens and all other gardens around the city where people are now doing general cleaning work or cleaning cars and all that. And the vagabonds are just walking around Harare without being attended to. So that is a letter that has been written yesterday. So I don't know if writing a letter is enough, but more needs to be done to clean Harare. It's a mess. It's bad. It looks terrible. I don't like it. I don't like Harare, but that is going to be my new home very soon. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to be moving back to Harare within the next 3 months. So by December, I'll be back in Harare. You'll be able to come to my office and meet me and talk to me and work together on our campaign for Gambakwe 2028. So we're going to do very well. And I would like to invite all of you guys to join me and make it work. Right, let's go to the Saturday Independent of South Africa. And this newspaper is leading with the story of landmark ruling for SA parents. New moms and dads can now share the maternity leave allowed by law. However, it works best for their new family. So now there's 4 months paternity and maternity leave. 4 months you can be shared between a mother and a father. So that is a requirement. And then Air Zimbabwe boarding pass is trending in South Africa. A handwritten boarding pass by Air Zimbabwe. It's a shame that our country is a laughingstock all over the world. I don't know why they can't print a boarding pass or borrow a printer from the next guy. So if it's not working, get a printer. You guys are flying into South Africa every day. Sort out yourself. This is embarrassing to write a boarding pass using your hand. And then what else do we have here? Nothing much. Let's look if the Saturday Star has published. So these are Johannesburg newspapers. That's why I'm showing you mostly these newspapers. How do I spell Saturday? Saturday is one of the most difficult words for me to spell. Okay, Saturday Star. Youth tend to bless us to survive. So this is what happened in Botswana. You saw last week there was an issue of blessers. Unemployment leaves young women vulnerable to abuse, violence, and trauma bonds. So if a young woman is given an opportunity to have money or to be hungry, she's going to choose to have money. So this is becoming a problem. And then for the first time, we're seeing the wife of Mutharika, the late ambassador, a cap, a court, and a remote control. These were the belongings handed to the widow of South African ambassador to France, Kosnati Emmanuel Mutharika, after his tragic death at an upmarket hotel this week. So it's saying here, the people come to the residence just to update us as to where they are with the investigation and what would they find, and also to give freely the belongings of the ambassador, which were a coat, a cap, and a remote. Let's see what else here. The 58-year-old diplomat originally booked the room on September 15 for a stay commencing September 27 and ending September 28. He did not arrive on those dates, but later postponed his stay to September 29. He ended up postponing it to 29, and that is the day on which he disappeared. So his wives saw him for the last time on Monday afternoon before he was due to attend a cocktail event. Later that evening, she received a distressing message. So you can clearly see that something is off regarding this situation. The prosecutor confirmed the message in a statement in which he apologized to her and expressed his intention to end his life. So the reason why this is a problem is there is no clarity on the autopsy. The death certificate is not out, and the French have been quiet. So the South Africans have sent 5 investigators over to France to look at the situation regarding the death of the minister, to say what exactly happened over there. Right, I think this is totally covered. Everything here, you can see it on Gambakwe. We're going to update you as soon as there is any breaking news. Then regarding Twitter, so let's look at X and see if First Lady of Zimbabwe has posted, and also other people that will follow on X. So obviously, I showed you Chamisa's tweet yesterday. Chamisa is not going to launch anything. You are going to see it. If you think Chamisa is going to launch a party, you are wasting your time. The man is not going to launch. We need to work harder and have a new political party and a coalition for the opposition. Chamisa is not coming. He's going to be tweeting every month. He's going to tweet one thing about a party, but he'll never do it. And you can see this. Remember last month I said to you, you will see that the whole month of September will end. It ended. Then on October, he launched another one. Immediately in October, he did post another thing about a new party. He's going to do that every month until the elections. He will never launch, and our time is going to be wasted. This is bad, so we don't like it. What Chamisa is doing is very dangerous for our country. He is doing something so dangerous. Just pretending to be launching a party and not doing it. So those who think that I'm joking, next month again, on 1 November, I'll tell you the same thing. This has been happening since December. One time Chamisa is going to come and say, I will launch, but he will never launch. And then Munofan Nzara. If you want to know what Munofan Nzara, Muchakwara Nzara, because it will be like this until the end of 2027. Then Mozomuka, personal candidate. Right, so First Lady of Zimbabwe hasn't said anything. And then let's see if Sanyatwe have said anything. Sanyatwe himself because those are the two people that I'm watching very closely. So Zanyatwe on 2 October has given away letters. I would like to invite all government ministries, parastatals, and the Blair community to the upcoming interministerial games. So there's an interministerial games which is going to be coming on the 10th of October in Bulawayo at let's see, Northley High School. Is going to be there. So check it out on his Twitter or X. And then let's see if there's anything else of interest on Facebook. I like to watch the guys on Facebook, particularly a large number of Zimbabweans are going back home. So a large number of Zimbabweans based in South Africa, including myself, are returning back home. And I've talked to people in ZANU PF very high up, and they've said, if you want to come home, if you guys want to go home, and business to Zimbabwe, don't be afraid. Nothing is going to happen to you in Zimbabwe. You're going to be totally safe as long as you don't say a passing Nezvigananda. As long as you don't just walk around with you organize a demo. Zimbabwe. Don't organize demos. So as long as you don't have any crime or if you didn't run away from a case in Zimbabwe, they're saying you can totally and freely arrive in Zimbabwe. Is those people who started some criminal activities and then left, and then they come to Zimbabwe thinking they can just walk. It's not going to happen. So make sure you don't have any crimes. You'll be fine. Then let's finalize with the IMF. The IMF has released a statement on Zimbabwe yesterday. So that is the last thing I'm going to say right now. So the IMF has released a statement on Zimbabwe. You can see it here. Let me show you the statement. And let's unpack what the IMF have said. So the IMF says Zimbabwe is experiencing a degree of macroeconomic stability due to monetary policy tightening. After a sharp slowdown in 2024, economic activity recovered in the first half of 2025, and growth is expected to rebound this year, supported by better climate conditions and record high gold prices. Fiscal financing pressures have intensified despite higher revenues, as net external financing turned negative and spending increased. So this is the good stuff. What is the bad stuff? So the bad stuff from the IMF is the exchange rate. So the IMF is concerned about the ZiG and how it's being controlled by the Reserve Bank. So they want the Reserve Bank to change the way they are controlling or managing the currency. They're saying it's not floating. They also want the Reserve Bank to deal with the surrender requirements and move these activities away from the Reserve Bank to bureau de changes, so public bureau de changes. So you can go and check it out on the IMF Press Center. So if you just type press release number 25323, so that is press release 25323. You can go and read the IMF statement on Zimbabwe. It is very interesting, and we've summarized it for you on Gambakwe overnight. So I think we've covered everything. A lot is happening. And today, as I said, we're going to watch very closely the interaction between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga as Mnangagwa leaves. Is Chiwenga coming? And also, will Mnangagwa leave the acting presidency to Chiwenga as he leaves for Malawi this morning? Okay. I think we've covered everything. Go check out the Botswana citizenship. This is very interesting. I like it. And to those people who are overseas, obviously, take out and have a look. The cheapest citizenship by investment in the world. There is no other citizenship this cheap and this exciting. Botswana is amazing. So much opportunity in Botswana. They just need one thing. That is a fast high-speed rail connection from Botswana into Zimbabwe, into Beira, and tourism. They need to make their tourism facilities more reachable. Botswana is huge and it's got very few people. So they sometimes lack the economics of scale. So let's say I want to go to game park in Botswana. I've realized that when I go to Gaborone, the game park is like 400 kilometers away. So imagine I drive to 400 kilometers to see animals, or I can fly into Victoria Falls and then I drive to Wange, which is 20 minutes away or 30 minutes away. So normally the competition is very high. If you look at Kenya, you land in Nairobi and the game park is right inside the town. In Pretoria, the game park is right inside the town. So the game park of Pretoria, you can walk from town into the game park. That is very interesting. So that's the biggest game park inside of South Africa, and also other things to do. So Botswana needs to market more, because I believe that they've got tourism, they've got a new development at the airport, and those have not been marketed as much as they should. I have written a letter to the Botswana investment, so Invest Botswana, almost 2 months ago. No one has replied to my letter. The Zambians, I've gone to see the guys in Zambia, but it was not as easy for me to get the right person, even when I was on the ground. But for the guys in Botswana, they need to do a lot, because they actually have the best asset as far as being positioned between South Africa and Zimbabwe. So a lot needs to be done, because money needs to flow in, and those things are not yet off the ground. So a lot needs to be done in Botswana to make it work, and not just getting these guys in. You also need to grow the market. So grow the market, make more things in Botswana which you can sell outside, and then make Botswana part of a package, so that if someone lands in Zimbabwe or in South Africa, they then have Botswana as part of where they need to go. So very well done in terms of coming up with this idea, and then let's see how it goes. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Let's look at the comments and then we're out. Chamisa is sold and bought. Do not talk of him. Leave Chamisa. Leave Chamisa alone. Yes, leave Chamisa alone. I will be sitting here in 2027 and I'll be telling you that Chamisa is not contesting the elections. Chamisa is at Harvard. He's gone. Chamisa is gone. He's not here. What he needs to do is to stop pretending to launch, because your credibility gets lost. What happened to the Blue Movement? That they tried to launch and then he didn't come. He said, I've got nothing to do with it. So the guys did all the work for months and months. And then Chamisa turned around and said, I'm not part of Blue Movement. Then they started something else. Then he's not part of it. And now he's just tweeting pictures of little chicks. Little chicks. Chamisa Mana. This is not right. So what Chamisa is doing here is disruptive to the opposition, because it's not allowing other people, especially those people who work with him. For us, it doesn't matter. I've already told you that I'm not supporting Chamisa's campaign. So what he's doing now, like tweeting these little ducks and then wearing a white cap and going to stand at Cape Town and saying something about it. So every month it's something. And it's not right, because this is dangerous for the opposition. Chamisa needs to be brought to order. Pindamu order. Chamisa. Pindamu order. Zaka broker. What they're doing is bad. And doing that narrow. So myself, I've got no fear, because our plan is sound. So the manifesto that we have is clear. We are going to be focusing on civil servants. We've got 8 pillars. It's clear. I've got no doubt, and I'm not afraid to say this. We are the only people right now with a clear manifesto. These things can be implemented. Look at what is happening in Tanzania. Tanzania is becoming one of the best places for rail right now. And they started this with the current president and the last presidents. They've got a rail that is functional. And we're going to make it functional in Zimbabwe. We're going to have $1,500 salary for everybody. We're going to build 160 new towns. It's so easy to build 160 towns. And we're going to build massive towns, connect them up, and your country will look beautiful. Zvetuma chicks, Trongo display, but Twitter, Shaka broker. And I'm very confident that from December or January, I'll be able to be on the ground to do this particular campaign. So our campaign is going to start, and we're going to do so well among the civil servants, our soldiers, our police, Air Force, intelligence, our teachers and nurses. This is what you need. Gambakwe 2028, the only game in town. Both Chiwenga and Chamisa will never beat me in an election, and they will lose very badly. And lose as Zochkisa. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'll see you again a little bit later. And a good day to you all.